I wonder what's going through your mind during these rough times. Layoffs are happening all around us. Businesses are tougher than they used to be. Competition is rising, but so is the cost of living. What's your relationship with money right now? Is this world still a place for dreamers? These are just some of the questions Tracy Imm and I explored in the part 2 of this conversation. If you haven't already listened to part 1, you'll find the link of it in the description below. I'd encourage you to start there as it provides a bit of a foundation for the ideas that we explored in this part of the episode. And when you're done listening to part 1 and part 2, I'd love for you to leave us a comment on what resonated with you, what challenged your thinking, and did anything in this episode help you keep moving forward in these difficult seasons of life. This is part 2 of Becoming with Tracy Imm. I will see you there. I'm in my element. I'm in my game. So I wanted to tell you my story,
Yes.
but I'm in my element. I'm in my game. I get promotion. Same guy, 3 months later, fires me. Same guy, because 3 months ago he said, "You earned the promotion. You go, girl. Let's go make the great changes we want to make."
Right.
Same guy had to sit with the HR and read me the script.
Same
person.
I had
Few
the
months
same
later,
I had the same situation.
Yeah. And until yesterday, as I was prepping for the podcast, it hit me. I had never processed it. Meaning to say, I got off that call. I remember the first thing I did was I opened my resume, though I didn't do anything about it because I was so angry, full of emotions, processing it, blah, blah, blah. Went in, started to apply. I already had my coaching thing on the side that has, sort of picked up a little bit. So I was like, okay, I got this, I can do this. It was all pieces of puzzle practicality, right? Moving. And I've been moving fast. I have no regrets. In fact, I think if that wouldn't have happened, you and I wouldn't be talking today. You and I would be talking maybe a year down the lane or a couple of years down the lane. Because this would have happened anyways. I know that. I know that now. I always known it.
It's part of the plan.
So yesterday when I processed it, I said, why was I so angry at that guy? Because your subordinate, she got you in trouble. Didn't have to end this way, but it did. And then you with this person, right? This was my ex-boss. I kept getting so angry at him every time I would think about him. It was like, how dare he? Who was he thinking? What's his deal? Why would he do that?
I totally relate.
Blah, 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 right? And yesterday I'm like, he's a human. He was following orders. If he were to, and this is the point, if he were to meet me outside of work, let's say we were meeting at a mall, he wouldn't do a thing to hurt me. Right? He was just human. And he was doing his job.
Well, exactly.
And then just my shoulders kind of like,
yes. And you have to forgive. You have to forgive.
So
like that is the biggest lesson.
Yes.
That like forgiveness is so important because, I can totally relate. Like he either there was this, like what I have seen in like layoffs, firings, whatever. There's always something else, and I always come back to that person was just the messenger to you, but you were supposed to be redirected over here. And you're not going to be over here if you stay stuck being angry and not forgiving them for what they quote unquote did to you, right? Yeah. It's situational. So like in 2007, 2008, we had lost a contract with the Marines. We had lost a contract with the Army. And we're talking big money, right? And so the entire company needed to be downsized. When I lost my job in 2011, there was an institutional takeover, a hostile takeover, where someone, I think it was Nelson Peltz and our chairman of the board, Nelson Peltz, who was a very big shareholder, did not think that we needed to be a conglomerate. He thought we needed to be 3 separate companies. And so, but the person that was the chairman of the board said, no, mine, I want a conglomerate. And so they went at it. Well, at the end of the day, they blew up into 3 companies and laid off the corporate overhead shared services staff that I was part of that was doing a big global implementation to integrate all of their value centers, right? And so there's these confluence of events that have nothing to do with you. has nothing to do with your capabilities. It has nothing to do with your expertise. And so you have to just trust that this happened for a reason. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to hold on to this vitriol that I have because of how the message got delivered to me, the timing of when it happened, like all of that. You kind of have to like let it go. So I do a lot of just mentoring for free to people who have lost their jobs because I have so much compassion for all the emotions that you go through when you lose your job because that's your identity.
It's your identity. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not really, right? Like
But it's not.
that was my biggest learning is I am not my job.
One assumes it. That's my identity.
This is my identity. But then I stepped back and I was like, oh no, I'm more than that. I'm a writer. I'm a podcaster. You know what I mean? I'm a wife. I'm an auntie. You know, you have all these multiple identities that you have to get a little more attached to. So I hope you have forgiven, but I'm glad you felt the weight on your shoulders.
Just like the weight just went off, and I was like, and this is probably, I don't know how common it is in people, but for me though, it was there. I was angry. Every time a thought of him would come or a thought of my ex job would come, it would take me back to that very conversation. I would get angry, but then I would leave it at the corner of being angry and upset and then come right back to my happy lane. Great. But I never, since last time I checked in with myself this morning, how do I feel about that whole situation? And I'm like, I'm not angry.
Good. I'm so happy to hear that.
In fact, I'm thankful that this happened because if it wouldn't have happened, the fire in my belly would not have been ignited with the degrees it ignited after it because the fire was there. I wanted to do it, like I said, meaning I wanted to expand my coaching business. I wanted to go out there and put myself out there. All of that was great. But it was, if the intensity was this much, the intensity after I read that thing became this much.
Oh,
yeah? And I'm like, I'm gonna go. Which is, again, I'm taking that as a positive, very big positive. But today what I feel is I still have that fire. I still have the desire. I'm probably more passionate about what I'm doing, where I'm going than I was ever before. So I'm more living. I'm more being me. But after reading your story, what I did was, like I said, I checked in with myself this morning and the anger didn't even come. I tried to look for it. I was like, where did that feeling go? I'm looking, I'm seeking, but I'm not finding it anymore. It's gone.
I love that for you.
It's just gone.
I love that. So, if you think about emotions, they're kind of on this spectrum. Yeah. David Hawkins' work. And anger and shame, guilt, all that is a low vibe emotion, right? And so my coach told me in order to stay above the line and the more happy, love, joy, peace, like all of those things, and to get there and to self-actualize, you have to get to acceptance first because that's where the line is in the sand for the flip, right? And so whenever I'm like, why am I feeling this way? How am I going to get out of this feeling, right? This low vibe emotion. I always think what he said to me, he said, Tracy, the faster you get to acceptance, the sooner you'll soar to the higher emotions, right? Which are the higher frequencies. And so I'm so happy for you because anger is a low vibe energy that is not going to serve you. No. And your mission as a coach, as a guide, as a mentor, all the things, right? Which is your gift. I mean, it really is your gift. Like you really have a gift. And I know that just from talking to you, the many times we talk to prepare for this is that is part of your purpose. Yeah. That you are here to serve a certain group of people with that gift, right? And if you would have been over here doing this program project management, which I'm sure you were a rock star, just in talking to you and knowing what little bit I know and I've seen with you, I'm like, that's a good way to pay the bills, right? Yes. And that good income, and you're very competent, and you can lead these teams. You can make all the things happen, but your gift is over here, and it's not going to be tapped into if you stay clung over here and in an angry state.
And you said in your book, thank you. Thank you for
I
believing
mean
in me.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I do.
You said in your book that a dream will scare you,
They should.
right? And they literally do.
They do. They
A lot
should.
of times, I sleep really well.
I love
Ever
it.
since this happened, I sleep really well. But when I wake up and I'm in, I've checked in with myself, I've meditated a little bit, and then when I sort of come back and I look at my massive dream, it freaks the hell out of me in a freaking good way, and I'm like energized with
You
it.
should
It's
be.
crazy.
You should be. You should.
It drives me
It
nuts.
should do both at the same time. It should freak you out that it's so
Oh,
big
yeah.
and overwhelming, but then it should energize you. So it should, like, that's actually a good thing, because I feel like if it's not doing both, then it's not big enough.
Then it's not big enough, or something is off about that equation. Something
Yes.
needs to tweak, or something needs to shift.
Yes.
Very good. And now I want to. So this was my audience. If you are dreaming, if you're a dreamer, be a dreamer, but dream something that you're so scared of that you can actually, the fire in your belly becomes bigger. Now that's abstract. Now let me come back to tactical stuff.
Okay.
Is the comparison. Again, I'm going to go back. I know you love that.
I do.
I'm going to go back to people who are losing jobs. A lot of times, I know a lot of people, they will, in the name of applying on LinkedIn, for example, I'll take LinkedIn as an example, though I love the website or the social media,
Right.
the bit. But people, what they do is they'll go on LinkedIn, they'll apply one job, two jobs maybe, if anything, and then they'll start looking at other people's profile. And the comparison hits. And then they come to me and they say, Rishi, I did, but then I'm looking at other people. They have these beautifully decorated, profiles. I don't stand a chance. Why would anybody give me a job? It was one comparison, two comparison, three, and then it's 2 hours later. They are completely exhausted. They turned it down. They didn't want to apply that day. They lost that entire day. And it's a sequence. What do you have to say to such people who are constantly doing this, constantly going on LinkedIn to compare themselves?
Well, what's the quote? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yep.
And I truly believe that. And it's human nature to compare, right? I mean, think about elementary school. Oh, they have a
Right.
better lunchbox than me. Oh, they have better clothes than me, right? Like it's ingrained in us to compare and see where we stack up. Even think of like class rankings. Oh, I'm number 17. Oh, you're number 5. Oh, okay, right? And so we are conditioned to compare, I believe, from a very young age. And so that's our natural go-to. And what I always come back to is we're like snowflakes. We're all unique and individual. And I think until you think of yourself as a snowflake and you're fine with your Holly Hobby lunchbox and I'm fine with you having a Snoopy lunchbox, you know what I mean? Then you're going to stay stuck in that comparison, and it will suck the life out of you to stay in that state. And again, joy is a very high frequency emotion, right? Yeah. And so you're not accepting, okay, I'm unemployed, I have to find something. It's the right people will find you. The right people will see your skill set. The right people, if this is meant to be, it will happen. Like it's that faith that I have that, you want to be in a situation where you are getting what you want out of a work experience. And that's why when I work with people who have lost their job and they're in transition, you're in that liminal space. First of all, right? When you're in transition and you've lost your job or you've been downsized, whatever the reason is, it doesn't really matter. Living in the liminal space is very difficult to begin with. I did a whole mastermind about liminal space for people that were in transition. And the thing about liminal space is it has the positives and the negatives. One of the things in that liminal space is for you to start dreaming and start defining your dream. Because you have the luxury of space and time.
Okay, I see that.
But you have to know you're in the liminal space. It's kind of a wonky space. And social media not good for you to go out there and see, oh, she's got the PMP, and oh, this person has this cert, and oh my gosh, they're going to want to hire this person, and I don't have that.
Yeah.
And so I do think that it's acknowledging you're in the liminal space is important, and recapturing your joy.
So, and I'm writing this down because again, I'm looking for that tactical, I'm looking for that recipe for someone who is in the moment, in the minute, struggling. Is that how? So look,
you got a dream.
So you got a dream,
but you got to define it. And
but then you're in this box, which is I need a job.
I need a job. Yes,
I need to pay.
I need to
my
pay my bills. Yep.
Okay.
Here's my other point of wisdom.
Okay.
Right? Because I need a job, I need money, and so it's stirring up all this anxiety as an emotion. Well, guess what? The universe is abundant. Money is everywhere.
Okay.
And you have to fully believe that. Money comes to you. Money is energy, and money comes to you through other people. The money may even already be here, and you don't even know it. So I had one of my clients last week. She was freaking out. She's like, I'm so anxious about money. I'm so anxious about money. And I said, the money's always here. Do you know she came back to her next coaching set? And so I said, well, what are some things that you can do to find the money? Find the money. The money is here. Find it. And she said, well, I haven't done any of my client billing, and that'll bring in a couple $1,000s. I said, okay. So that's a tactical thing you can do to find the money. Do you know she came back and she goes, Tracy, I figured it out. She goes, I just manifested $500,000. I said, how'd you do that? She says, I have 2 properties that I just put on the market. One was her husband's mother who had just passed, her house in Philadelphia. And the other one was her husband had a rental property that they wanted to get rid of. And I said, well, that was much better than the invoicing of the clients. I said, you just manifest. I said, I told you the money is always there. You just haven't thought about, you haven't gotten creative. Like, can I sell something on Facebook Marketplace? Can I take a temporary job through Upwork? Like, the money is always around us.
Okay, so
it's
then
the awareness. It's your awareness.
So is it that the dream you're drawing that out, and in when you're dreaming, what is it my skills?
It's all of it. It's what does my ideal day look like? It's what am I really good at? It's what would make me want to just jump out of bed in the morning? What kind of work would that look like? Do I want to be living at the beach and working remote? Like, it's really drilling down into what it is that you want.
So dreaming my ideal day.
It is. It's dreaming your ideal day. Is your ideal day that, or even your ideal week, like, I only want to go into an office 2 days a week and I want Fridays off.
Yeah. Sure.
Like, it's really like, and I do believe, and you've heard these stories where people like write down, like, and I did it with my husband, right? I would like somebody who also has faith. I would like somebody who also likes to attend a sporting events. Like, you literally, it's like
so
placing.
You wrote it.
Yes,
you wrote it all.
I did. I call it placing your order with the universe.
Oh, so, okay. So we grow up in a society where if you're a dreamer, they look down on you.
100%.
She or he's a dreamer. I remember I was going into engineering college and I decided that I'm going to. You just made me remember this. And it was so harshly said that it stayed with me. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Arushi, engineering college? She just needs to be just chilling out and having fun. She's a party kind of girl. What is the engineering business doing for her? They looked at me or my mom at that point as at a surprise. They're like, what? She's a dreamer. I was a creative dreamer. I was dancing, being myself, and just to, enjoying life kind of a personality I was. I still am. I still enjoy life. I love it. But one can't fathom the fact that she can be this too. Mm-hmm. She can be this.
We can.
But the society puts these labels on us, and the dreamers, my point I'm trying to make is that dreamers are often looked down upon.
I would agree.
Look down.
Or
maybe
an artist.
An artist.
You're going to be a starving artist. Yeah, there's definitely those stereotypes.
What's going to put the food on the table? So when I say to somebody, you lost your job, my friend. Okay, I want you to go out there and I want you to now think about and dream about what your ideal day is going to look like. They're going to look at me and be like, are you stupid? I just lost my job. I told you, I don't have money. I don't have time to dream.
Right. Which is when you gotta do like, and I think I wrote a chapter in here
Yes,
about
you
diving
did.
into your
Yes.
money story.
Yes.
We all have a money story. It is generational. And it is the pressures and it's the things that we learn as we grow up in society about money that are all
Yeah.
false. They're all false.
They're all false.
I did this one year. I think I read like 40 books about money. The Soul of Money. I mean, Tasha Silver's The Soul of Money. Things that Napoleon Hill had written about money. I mean, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you really examine all these philosophies around money, again, it's an exchange.
Yeah.
If you go back to the beginning of time when you made a pot of soup and I wanted the pot of soup, so I gave you a bowl or something, right?
Barter
It's
system.
the barter system, right?
Yep.
We are, I mean, and even like Bitcoin, right? It's all based on the same philosophy of exchange. And so, I mean, trust me, I've been there where like, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my car payment? Like all of
Yeah,
like
you
it's
went
real.
through that. Yes, you did.
I went through that. It was real. It was real, right?
Yeah.
And it's being, not ashamed that you might have to borrow money from somebody or you might have to lend money to somebody, but always, especially if you come from a environment where you're part of a family, there's probably somebody in the family that can help support you through your transition is what I always have seen and said, like if you feel comfortable, right? And then paying them back or whatever. And so I've been grateful to the people that have helped me when I've been in a liminal space and needed, help. And now I try to do that for others.
Yeah.
Because I had a really good friend of mine last July lost her job. It's been 8 months. It was her second job out of college, right? And it was through no fault of her own. It was a budget thing. The firm just needed to eliminate overhead, and the biggest cost is always the people. And there were times that she was, close second runner up, second place, like didn't get the job. And then there was one that she got, and it was going to put her in this like warehouse, like doing something with widgets. And I was like, please don't do that to yourself. I said, you're better than that. You've got an education. You've been a program manager. And I said, I really see you in a corporate position and it will come along. It just hasn't happened yet. And I took her out to dinner on Thursday night. She got a product owner job at a global 100 company.
Look at that.
And I said to her, I'm so glad you didn't take that job in that warehouse with the widgets. And she said, thank you for that piece of advice. Because she said, I was to that point of how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my car payment? And you kept saying to me, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Trust the process. It starts in 2 weeks. And I said, I know it was a painful 8 months.
Yeah.
And, we're in tough times, but like the right thing will come along.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, because I wrote it down. I wrote down trust the process. And then the money stories are all false.
They are.
They probably are.
They are. They are. And I'm still working through my money story and, healing whatever issues that I have around that, right?
Because it's like you said, it's generational.
It is
generational. It's in our DNA.
It is.
It's what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. The relationship with money is in our DNA. And, we've all... I come from India. My parents' relationship with money was different, or the generation that I inherited that
Correct.
was different. Yours was different parts of the world.
Correct.
I want to get into this, what you call as a universal law of receiving. Mm-hmm. And I want to put that in perspective of money and the relationship we have with it, regardless of our geolocation and where we came from.
Yeah, so it's true that there's a universal law of receiving. And so where I see a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs get stuck is sort of the new level, new devil, and they think they're not worthy of that next level of money.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right? Not worthy, right? So... like that's their core wound is that who am I to be a 7-figure business owner?
Oh, how dare I kind of thing?
Yeah,
Oh.
because we're like, whoa, that's too much. Like, I can't receive anymore. And so, as you elevate in your consciousness, I believe that you have to open yourself up to the abundance that is meant to come your way. So we actually deflect things. We might deflect a client or an opportunity because it scares us a little bit. It's a weird dynamic, but it's sort of like one of the other universal laws is the law of sacrifice. And sometimes we go too far and we think that we have to continue to sacrifice, and that we can't receive the abundance that is supposed to come to us. It's all about the sacrifice, right? Because for example, like when you sacrifice, say your husband has an opportunity for a really great job in another city, and you say, oh, well, I'm going to have to go with that's such a great opportunity for him. I'm going to sacrifice my career, take a pause, move to this new location, and try and establish myself in that new location, right? So you've sacrificed,
Yeah.
right? Because like you could have been killing it over here, but in the spirit of everything for your family, the right thing to do was for him to take this opportunity. And so those two laws, I always feel like they kind of go together. Is like you have to balance like what you're going to sacrifice, but then also be open to receiving whatever is going to come your way. I don't know if that makes sense.
So it's like a tight risk almost,
It
but it's a
is.
calculated risk to
Is.
some degree if
To
I
some
put it
degree.
to practicality. And then there's so what you're doing is calculate your risk, be in the know of what's coming, then layer it off with the belief.
Yes.
That's what you have that belief.
You have to.
Believe that law. Believe in the law of receiving. That it shall come. It shall do its bit as long as. And I think there's another bit in here is that as long as you are doing, you're not just dreaming. You're not just.
Yeah, you have to take action.
You have to take action. Because, manifestation is a commonly talked term on the internet.
Yes.
And people generally say, oh, manifested, make a vision board. You should make a vision board, don't get me wrong, but you got to take the action. And I think what you're saying in here is how are you going to take the calculated risk if you don't take the action? If you don't know what you don't know, how would you take the action? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I think you have to set your intentions and make a decision and then execute against your decision. And I think where some people, either they set the intention, but they don't make the decision to act on it. Right? And then the other thing is I think sometimes we want things on our time. It's not our time.
It's not our time.
It's not our, like my friend it took her 8 months. I was like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen on Source's time.
On Source's time, yeah.
And you're going to be in the right place at the right time with the right organization that's going to find you, and then you're going to flourish, right? And if you force things, like she knew that wasn't like a good fit. And she even said to me at dinner, she said, if I would have taken that, I would have had no time to look for a job, interview for a job, because I would have been so busy working with my widgets. Right? And it's true, right? Because that would have drained all of her energy. And I said, it's better to take an extra couple months, walk your dog, be with your parents. Her parents had a mountain house. I'm like, go to the mountain house, like really pour back into yourself. Because she really, and it did. And she said to me, she said, this really took a toll on my self-esteem and my level of confidence. And I said, I understand. I've been there, right? It does. Because it's like, how do you not take it personally? But nothing's ever personal.
Not even when you were polygraph at the FBI?
Well, okay, that might be different.
I bet. Oh my God.
When I was
didn't pick that story. That was like, oh girl, like armed robbery, polygraphing. Then literally the guy who's reporting into you is the inside job. I'm like,
that was Tama with the big T.
So, which is what I'm saying. You will probably have like 4 or 5 movies right here in your book. Go do it, girl.
I know. I need to meet Ava DuVernay or Shalonda Rhimes who can write the script.
Yes, that's
right. It's true.
There's stories in here.
There are stories. Yeah.
But tell me a little bit, and we'll wrap this episode with that. Is that when you were when you were in that tight spot, yeah, I guess if you can call it tight spot, when you volunteered to be polygraph at FBI.
I did.
You knew that this is man, watching an armed robbery happen. Yeah, no doubt you had PTSD.
And I chased the robber.
And you chased, which is what you shouldn't do. You said that.
That was the very first thing the FBI and bank security said to me. They were like, "You did do the bank security training on robbery, right?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "What's the number one rule?" I said, "Don't chase the robber." They said, "So why did you chase the robber?" And I said, I was so angry. I was like, how dare someone rob my branch? How dare they?
How dare you? Yeah.
I was so mad. I wasn't thinking clearly. And I watched the video. So the FBI, they had the video of me chasing the robber out of the bank. And I was just like, oh my God, I could have died. Like, what was I thinking? But it was like my anger, like the rage. It was the rage, because for the listeners, we had just gotten the largest shipment of cash, and it was like $285,000 in cash. We had a very active ATM, and so while the branch was very small and I didn't have a lot of customers, my ATM was very popular. And I was just so angry. I was like, they got the whole shipment, and there's only two people that know what the shipment amount is. It's the manager and the head teller. And my head teller called out sick. This guy filled in. He knew that the shipment was coming because he had been briefed in as the alternate. And so, yes, it was an inside job. But I said to the FBI, I was like, we know it was him. You can't, when you're in a robbery, the FBI can't make you do anything. They can ask, but they can't make you do anything federally. Sure. And so I said, if I come forward, then would that put pressure on him? And then you would have a stronger case to get him to do his polygraph. And they said, it's worth a try. And I mean, it was like being on a movie, being strapped in, like it was exactly like the movies. And
now, the Tracy underneath the layers. And I want to combine two stories. One, robbery happened. You went through this polygraph experience. It was the experience is what I'm really trying to get to. Then there is your subordinate in your job, which basically she put you she threw you under the, what's the word we use? And it's not coming to me. She threw you under the rug.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't take accountability.
Both episodes, they did something to your confidence.
Very much so.
Yeah. So then how does one, because we all go through traumas. Sure, it's a rare one, the one that you went through. But at work, work politics, one goes through all of these things, and it does do a number on your confidence.
It does.
How does Tracy, the brave woman she is, the woman of faith, how did she come up for air?
A lot of therapy, a lot of coaching. I've had a coach since 2010. Okay. So what's that, about 16 years?
What's so cool about working with a coach?
So, we talked about the dream. I'm a dreamer too, but I'm like you. I have a left brain. I can do math. I can do science. I can do computer coding, that kind of thing. And I'm fascinated by data and technology and all that it can do. But I think the thing I have gotten the most is through the coaches I've worked with, who are really, really, I think, exceptional, is they're a mirror and they reflect back to you, and they help you see your own brilliance in many ways through their line of questioning, whether it's masterminding or helping you kind of document your dreams, execute against your dreams, hold you accountable to your dreams. Like that, there's a lot of accountability there, right? That I say I want to do something, but then I don't. But then if I have a coach that's like, so you said you wanted to do X, Y, Z, how's that coming? So they're doing the check-in with you, right?
Yeah.
Not to shame you. It's not to shame you that you didn't get it done. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about the blockers.
It's not your husband or your
it's
friends.
A third party.
It's a third party, and so psychologically, we feel that we got to show up.
Yes.
Even though it wasn't. You're the same person. If I'm talking to my husband and I'm saying, "Hey, honey, I'm gonna do this tomorrow," or I'm gonna start this venture, I may just say, I may give them 1,000 excuses, I guess, to say no, I didn't do it because of XYZ reasons, and they'll love me. They love me anyway, so
Correct.
they'll just say, yeah, fine, let's find something else. But if I am talking to you,
It becomes almost like a business relationship
I
in
gotcha.
some ways,
Okay.
in my mind, right? Like I have become friends with them, but
Oh, yeah.
some of my best coaches have really pushed me, and then I'd like do something, and I was like, I did that. For example, I had written this first book, and I was in a mastermind with David Nagel, who is a very high level coach that studied under Bob Proctor. And he put me on the hot seat and was like, what about this? What about this? And he was the one that he said, I can see that you don't see that you're a coach. And I was like, I don't want to be a coach. He goes, Tracy, you are a coach. Get to acceptance. And so I really credit David Nagel for pushing me to see myself in a different way. And then I went on to work with him for over 2 years in a very high level small group mastermind, and it changed my life. I'm a different person because of the investment I made with him, the things that he taught me. He taught me the universal laws. He taught me how to think about things. I think about things totally different now that I had that experience, that coaching experience with him, right? A lot of it's based in positive psychology. And so I was scared to death writing the check to work with him because he's not cheap. And it was the most money I bought cars, multiple numbers of cars with like the amount that I spent on him. But you know what? I made back 3 times what I paid him because of his coaching.
Impressive.
There was an ROI there that, and he always said, the money's here. You're going to make back your investment. And I did. I made certain decisions in those 2 years that I would have not made if I wasn't in conversation with him. I worked with him literally 365 days, Saturday, Sunday, 7 days a week for 365 days. And I'm a different person because of it.
How beautiful. How beautiful. All right. Well, that's all my questions. You can tell I literally numbered them.
I know. You're like my number one fangirl. I love it. I love it. I
just
love
love
it.
it.
Now I need to go on like a promotional tour of my book.
Yes, you should. Totally. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of stories to learn from. But as I wrap up today's episode, like I said in the beginning, right? If I got an aha moment out of today, you did an aha moment out of today, and my audience did at least one, I think this is a successful episode. So Tracy, what's your aha moment for today?
Wow, I had so many. I think it's just, I didn't really have like one that I want to talk about, but it was more the energetic exchange that you and I had, and the things that you saw in my book that for me, I'm like, oh, like you've given me a different perspective. I wrote it and put it on the shelf kind of thing, but to have a reader give me that feedback on what stood out and what you took away from it, that's so meaningful to me. So I can't wait to see the episode because I'm going to be taking furious notes on, I need to turn that into a talk. I need to turn that into a Substack blog, right?
Yes,
because you pointed out to me things that I think are going to be meaningful to other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think they're coming exactly from that space of, yes, hey, check, I went through this. That whole experience with my ex-boss and how I let go of him.
Yes.
Was
I love that
like
for
I said,
you.
until last night, right?
Yes.
I read the book before. It didn't hit me. It hit me last night because now I'm like, Rishi, have you like done this? Like I was checking in with myself and I was like, oh Lord, this needs to go.
Yes.
And I just went. And it was the beauty of forgiveness was that it was effortless. As much as people say, forgive others, forgive yourself, forgive, it feels like a daunting task to do. But my gosh, it was just a feather and it just flew. And it's over.
And it was the decision that you made, Rishi.
Right.
You decided.
But
and
it was an easy decision, though.
I know.
It was such an easy decision.
I know, but think about, you hadn't done it, right?
Yeah,
until you, in that moment, you decided, oh, this might be it. It's the decision.
It's the decision, and they're so easy to make, and yet we make them such a big deal.
Yes.
My aha moment from today was
I think this conversation allowed me to almost validated that I can be a dreamer, that I should be a dreamer, that I was never wrong for being a dreamer. Because it's I guess the most important thing. I was always, and I enjoyed it. I still do. When one door closes, I'm on to the second one to figure out how that's going to open, how the other one's going to open. I love that.
It's part of your essence.
Yeah.
It is part of your essence.
You're right. You're right.
You are in flow state when you're in your dream mode.
Yeah.
That is your essence. And that's what I said. That is your gift. That is your gift. So dream, 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 because you're going to help so many people.
Oh.
You need to execute against your dream because that is your essence. Oh, and you can be a left brain, right brain person.
Yeah. Well, I am so bad. And it's a battle. But it's not a battle. It's yes, this, and then this. Yes, this, and so what about this? It's always this and this. And yes, I'm comfortable with it. But if you bring my husband into the chair where you are, he'll be like, Rushi, you're giving me a headache, girl. Like, stay in one lane. I said, no, buddy, but we're in two lanes. They're happening.
Yeah.
God, I love him. I still do.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the stew of you, right?
Yes.
Like you can do left brain, but you never lose your dream right brain. Because that's the artist in you, and that's the gentle soul that you are, that you're here to help others, right? And so this might pay the bills, but like honestly, and even like setting up your studio, that was your left brain. That was all your left brain.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's allowing you to express yourself and your creativity and your joy and you're in that essence of your flow state, and that's where you need to. That's where you're just gonna receive the abundance from the universe.
Thank you. I really appreciate this from the bottom of my heart. I really do.
Yeah,
it's
right back at you, girl. Who knew? Thank you, Threads.
But thank you, Threads. Audience, it's now your turn to give me one aha moment. You can give me many, but give me one, please. Comment and tell me what was your aha moment for today.
If this conversation resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel. See, the goal of becoming is simple. It's to create those meaningful conversations that not only help us as professionals, but as people to grow. My hope is to build a community of curious and thoughtful individuals who are committed to becoming a little bit better tomorrow than they are today. So if that's a journey you'd like to be part of, I'd be honored to have you join us. So subscribe to Becoming, and I will see you there. Thank you.